Sure, here's a YouTube article in a cinematic and emotionally dramatic tone titled, 3 Years Buried, the Beetle That Time Forgot, Rescued and Reborn, crafted without mentioning handling condition and perfect for your channel. 33 years buried, the Beetle that time forgot, rescued and reborn. Beneath dust, beneath rot, beneath 33 years of silence. It waited, no engine roar, no tire tracks, no sunlight, just memories. This isn't just a story about a car. It's about time itself, how it passes, how it takes, and how, sometimes, it gives back. This is the story of a Volkswagen Beetle, entombed for over 3 decades, abandoned but never truly forgotten. And its miraculous return from the shadows. The people's car, the world's icon. Before the silence, before the rust, there was a dream. A dream that began in Germany, in the ashes of war, when Ferdinand Porsche designed a car that would be simple, affordable, and unbreakable. That car was the Volkswagen Beetle. Its round shape, its charming face, its air-cooled rear engine, it wasn't just another vehicle, it was an icon. By the 1960s and 70s, the Beetle was everywhere. From the streets of Mexico to the hills of San Francisco, from European villages to tropical backroads, it didn't just drive history, it carried it. And then, it disappeared. The last drive 33 years ago. The story begins on a quiet backroad in 1990. An ordinary afternoon. An old man behind the wheel of his faithful Beetle, perhaps a 68 or 73 model, faded but proud. That day, the car made its final journey. Why? No one remembers. Some say the engine died. Others say the owner passed away. Maybe it was just parked, and time took over. The house was sold, the garage was sealed, the world moved on, and the Beetle, it was left behind, entombed in dust and silence. Behind rusted doors and broken locks, the Beetle sat still. The air grew thick with decay. Spider webs traced its curves like ancient vines. Its once bright paint dimmed beneath layers of dirt, mold, and sorrow. The tires sagged, the windows clouded, nature whispered in through cracks. Outside, the world changed, phones got smart, music turned digital, cars went electric. But inside that garage, time stood still. 33 years, not touched, not moved, not even remembered, until one day, a stranger appeared. Discovery, the door opens. It started with a sale. A new family bought the property, unaware of the treasure inside. They broke the lock, lifted the garage door, and froze. There, beneath tarps and crates, sat a shape from another time. Round headlights, curved fenders, a cracked Volkswagen emblem barely clinging to the hood. The Beetle, it was like opening a time capsule. Dust shimmered in the sunlight. A seatbelt dangled like a relic. The smell was heavy, of oil, leather, and forgotten stories. One of the rescuers whispered, This needs to live again." The first touch, gloves on, flashlights out, cameras rolling, they approached the Beetle like archaeologists, not mechanics. Every touch revealed history. An old parking sticker from 1989. A glove box filled with yellowed maps. A cassette tape marked, Elton John, Greatest Hits. They gently cleared the dust, brushed away the leaves, and finally saw it. The Beetle's original color, Bahama blue, peeking through like a smile after tears. It wasn't just metal, it was memory. The rescue wasn't easy. The tires were flat, the brakes seized, and the floor had fused to the earth. But they refused to let it rot. A jack here, a tug there, boards laid out like a red carpet. The team groaned and grunted. The Beetle creaked and moaned. Then, with one final push, light hit its roof for the first time in 33 years. Neighbors gathered, phones recorded, even the birds paused, because something had come back to life. The inspection, once freed, the Beetle was loaded onto a flatbed. Taken to a small shop, where classic cars lined the walls like artwork, it waited patiently under a hanging bulb. And as the inspection began, stories unfolded. The engine, dry, but intact. The frame, surprisingly solid. The interior, faded, yet complete, with the original steering wheel still firm in its grip. On the passenger seat, they found an old photo. A boy and his father, standing beside the car in 1978. Tears were shed, because this wasn't just a restoration. It was a reunion. The restoration begins. Restoring a car like this isn't about replacing parts. It's about resurrecting a soul. Over months, the team removed rust piece by piece with surgical precision. Hand-cleaned each chrome detail. Matched the paint to factory specs using rare pigments. Rebuilt the engine using vintage schematics. Restored the dashboard, knobs, and dials to original feel. Even the seats were reupholstered in the exact shade of the 70s vinyl, soft, golden brown, aged with dignity. Nothing was rushed, because this car had waited 33 years. It could wait a little longer to shine. The moment of truth, the engine, rebuilt, reassembled, ready, everyone gathered. The key, original, with its VW insignia, was inserted. Turned, click, a low whir, then, a roar, rough, raspy, alive, smoke coughed from the tailpipe. The exhaust hissed. The Beetle trembled, not from age, but from awakening. The crowd erupted. It wasn't just a car starting. It was a heartbeat returning after 3 decades. The Beetle was back. The first drive. On a warm summer morning, the Beetle rolled onto the road again. Its tires gripped pavement like old friends reunited. Its engine hummed with joy, its headlights wide-eyed. Children pointed, seniors smiled, some even waved, as if greeting a long-lost companion. Every mile felt like a lifetime rewound. Because this wasn't just a drive. It was a victory lap over time. A symbol of memory. The restored Beetle now sits in a local museum, but not behind velvet ropes. No, it still runs. It still moves. It still reminds people of what was, and what can be. Visitors are allowed to touch it, sit in it, even start it, to feel what it's like when history breathes. It's been in documentaries, car shows, even school field trips. But its greatest legacy, the story it tells, of waiting, of hope, of rescue, why it matters. In a world racing toward the future, AI, EVs, automation, this Beetle reminds us of something deeper. That machines can hold memories. That every dent, every scratch, every sticker tells a story. That even after years of silence, redemption is always possible. It teaches us that nothing truly special is ever lost, just waiting to be found again. From forgotten to forever, from darkness to daylight, from silence to song, from forgotten to forever, the 33-year buried Beetle didn't just come back. It returned to teach us something. That no matter how long something sits unseen, its value never fades. You can bury a car. You can bury a story. But you can never bury spirit. And that, dear viewers, is why this isn't just a rescue. It's a resurrection. Would you like a dramatic intro script or voiceover narration to pair this with your YouTube video?